Hello, today's movie is the 1972 American telemovie Moon of the Wolf, starring David Janssen. Now, I don't know much about this one other than that it's about werewolves and it has a fantastic cast. I was so impressed by the recent 1970s horror telemovie that I watched, Vampire, that I thought I would look for some more along those lines. So I'm really curious to see what this one is like. Let us check out Moon of the Wolf.
What are you doing? Oh God! No!
Now the print of this film is not fantastic. I did have some issues trying to get a print of it. Ooh. Set in the deep south of America, I believe. Nice soundtrack so far. Very creepy.
Oh, thank you, though.
Ooh.
It's early bird food, Bob.
Early bird food?
Yeah.
You dead?
Anything dead'd be stinking by now.
Wild dogs got themselves a taste of human blood. Ain't nobody gonna be safe out in their houses.
Now, Ellie and Lawrence Fool got a father next to death. He hears about something like this, there's gonna be 2 dead bodies. Is that what you want? I guess not.
Great David Janssen there from The Fugitive. He was so great in that.
What can you tell me, Doc?
Right now, only that it's not considered good medical practice to perform autopsies in the middle of swamps, surrounded by howling dogs and scratching rustics. I want the remains moved to the hospital as soon as you can arrange it. Do you think that can be accomplished by the neighborhood clods without completely obliterating any chance there might be of determining cause of death?
What's a doctor like that doing in a place like this? Interfering with evidence there, buddy. No one's going to stop him? I have noticed a bit of a tendency in movies to portray people from the south of America as sinister half-wits, which I guess I probably wouldn't like if I was from there.
Might very well have done something to her. You show me a pack of dogs where one of them knows how to hit you on the side of the head and knock you unconscious, and I'll sign a death certificate saying she was killed by dogs.
Something struck her.
Someone struck her. Find someone strong enough to do that with his left hand, and you'll have who did it. You've got a murder, Sheriff.
Ooh.
That's just what
David Janssen is one of those great scowling actors like Patrick McGowan. Specializes in scowling. I'm not knocking it, I actually like it. You've got to have a haunted old man who's half out of his wits.
Jolie, Annie, look. Yeah.
Oh. Isn't he saying Lou Garou? Werewolf?
Guru. He knows. Somehow he knows without anybody telling him.
It doesn't make any sense. He's just
That's a
got
great
crazy
touch,
things going on in
psychic
his
old
head
man.
because he's old and
Who's
sick.
kind of not quite there.
Let's talk.
Well, I hit her.
How hard?
Well, hard enough to let her know what I thought about her letting the quality put their fat fingers all over her.
Go on, show me how hard you hit her. Show me how you hit her. Go on, show me. I've known you for 10 years. I never knew you were left-handed.
Suspect number 1. It's always the left-handed people, isn't it? I say that because I'm one.
No, I'm afraid not, Sheriff. I wasn't being a very happy man about that time last night. Oh? Yes, I was doing battle with another bout of malaria. There was a time there when I thought my shaking was going to bring the whole house down around my ears, but it finally passed off around 1 or 2.
I guess you don't remember me.
You're Aaron Whitaker. I remember you very well.
When did you meet Sheriff Whitaker, Louise?
Well, he wasn't sheriff then, Andrew. He was just plain Aaron Whitaker, and he was 2 grades ahead of me in junior high. And I had this terrible crush on him.
Louise.
You probably didn't know a single thing about that, did you?
Well, I wish I had. We could have compared them.
Compared what?
Crushes. I had one on you, too.
Oh.
Well, why ever didn't you say something about it?
To a Rodanthe?
Well, we're human, aren't we? I mean, practically, aren't we, Andrew, like anybody else?
Sheriff Whitaker is attending
Bradford
to,
Dillman,
a small
who I remember
matter,
from a
I'm
great
sure you are impatient to get
night
on.
gallery
Isn't that so,
episode and
Sheriff?
some Alfred
Nice
Hitchcock
seeing you
presents.
again, Miss Rodanthe.
Well, you will come to call, won't you? Oh,
My sister has been ill, Sheriff. That's why she's come home.
And I hope she'll be
Nerves.
feeling better soon.
It's always
yes,
nerves.
she will be, with a lot of rest, quiet, no excitement of any sort.
I like how they've brought in the backstory about the sheriff and the lady from the big house and their, you know, high school connection. What's that?
You got yourself a clue, Sheriff?
Necklace.
Now, see?
David Janssen was only 40 here. He does look a lot older than that. He was only 48 when he died, tragically.
What brings you to town?
Oh, you sent me up to the store to buy some things. Some acetophyst and some sulfur.
What for?
For the lookarook.
For it?
For to drive the lookarook away. Because I know who did kill her.
Who?
You find out whosoever made Ellie pregnant. And you'll find out who killed her.
Oh, okay. I love how this is a bit like Vampire in that it's a police procedural with a suggestion of the supernatural.
Doc, if she was pregnant, somebody got her that way. And that's a clear lead to who killed her.
No. No, it isn't. Antibiotics, anyone? Because I got her pregnant.
Ooh. Shock.
And I didn't kill her. I loved her.
I guess I'll have some of your antibiotics. You know who she had a date with?
Of course. Me. But she never came. I waited and I never saw her again. Till
So
out
he's
there in that
performed an
cliff,
autopsy on his own girlfriend.
torn apart.
That seems unorthodox.
You're not going to arrest me?
Okay, so we've got 2 suspects.
You left-handed?
No.
The victim's brother
Of course,
and the
whoever made
doctor
that
who
mark
was
on Ellie
having an affair with her.
could have come up from behind it.
So far it's just a police procedural. There's been nothing supernatural except the mention of the werewolf. Playing it pretty straight.
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd have a cup of coffee with me over at Eddie's.
Oh.
Well, I'd admire to do that very much, Aaron.
It's sweet. The way they've written this and the way they're playing it's very sweet.
You know what Andrew did?
There's a lot of emphasis in this film on the different social levels
Right back here.
and the sort of taboos of the mixing. There'll be trouble because the policeman's below her social station.
Andrew, it's no use. I've spilled the beans to Aaron. That is right. I have told him the whole ugly truth about why I'm back in Marsh Island, so there's no point in going on and on and on about how I need rest now I've been sick and what the doctor said.
I see.
This actress is great.
Comforting to know.
Look, watch out, Doctor.
He killed my sister. Come on, grab it now. Lord, now cool it off.
It was her. She was having a baby. It was his baby.
Even though it's set in 1972 and is very contemporary to its time, it is portraying this town as just like a backwater that's stuck in an earlier time. Come on with the werewolves. Or is he distracted by his crush on this wealthy lady? This is very nicely handled, this romance storyline.
Well, I guess you'd better drink your lemonade.
Here we go. Howling Wolf. There's got to be another murder. Here we go. creepy subjective camera point of view shot. Oh, who's going to get killed? I bet the prison guard will fall asleep, and the werewolf will kill the guy who's in jail. This guy. He looks sleepy.
Nobody's going to be fooling around with my business.
The prison guard might get it.
Boy. Sit down. I'll be right back. All right. Come on up.
That was nicely done. Oh, that's not going to look good, is it? For him.
What? Hey. Oh. I get kicked back. No. What is... Go on. Don't.
So the killer tore the door off the prison cell.
Same, except for the blows. This time, whoever did it tore them both apart with his fingernails.
Dang lappers, look at them bars.
You get through those bars, Tom?
Sure couldn't.
I don't believe you could either.
So I just run out of suspects.
You sure? Is there anything you can tell us?
Caroline bars.
So the doctor is a suspect, yet he's letting him investigate the crime scenes and do the autopsies.
No marks of any instruments used on the bars. They were torn out by bare hands.
Is it the old man? Is it the dying old man who was the father of the two murdered Ellie and their brother?
They didn't run around doing them things.
Wasn't that the guy who was in Messiah of Evil as the dad?
Tom Jr., come on.
At the end?
Getting on home.
Royal Dano. I really hope the killer isn't David Janssen's girlfriend, because that would be sad. Could be this guy. He's a snooty rich guy. He might have had his eye on Ellie himself. This film does keep you guessing. But I think they need to up the stakes with the werewolf. I guess those are all... Oh, these are charms against the werewolf.
What's that smell? What's that smell?
It's him. It's got to be him.
What's wrong with him?
He's had a fit.
Doctor, you were third in your class. I never went to college. I knew he was having a fit when he started having it.
He's had a fit and was brought
About malaria.
This isn't malaria.
You got any
It's got to be the
idea?
rich family who's preying on
Not
the
until I can talk
poor
to him.
people around them.
If I just
with
knew
their
something about his medical history.
curse of werewolfism.
And I'll find out for you.
That was my mother. She gave it to me.
Oh,
You know where it is?
Oh, good heavens, no. Well, I mean... Well, how else could she have gotten it?
I'm gonna find out.
You mean Andrew?
I don't mean anything.
Or
I just
you.
mean I'm gonna find out. I'm going
could
down
be
the street.
her.
Oh, Aaron, could I come with you?
Maybe that's why she went away, to be cured of her lycanthropy.
The night she was your sheriff, and I know perfectly what I'm saying. I gave her that bit of bright work in return for certain favors she did me over the past year.
Favors?
Not the kind you're thinking, Sheriff. You ever heard of Siebert syndrome? Well, it's an offshoot of blackwater fever, the one form of malaria they don't know anything about, really. And once you got it forever. And the only time you know you had an attack is when you wake up after it's all over. I've had it for over a year now.
What do you do about it?
You take trypyridone. It's the only thing that keeps it under control. Ellie Burrifu used to bring me the medicine in the evening, a month's supply at a time. And those were the favors she did me.
Nothing.
I should have gone right back upstairs and taken 2 of the pills, but I didn't. I just sat there, thinking to myself, what a pretty girl Ellie Barafu was. Just sat there thinking. The next thing I knew, I was taking a shower, and it was about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mr. Rodanthe, you don't happen to be left-handed.
I'm ambidextrous, Sheriff. I can sign my name with both hands at the same time, and it would take a handwriting expert to tell you the difference. You know, there have been 5 of us in my family who inherited that interesting trait from my great-great-grandfather.
They're really pushing this thing about traits they've inherited from the great-great-grandfather. I'm sure they're all a family of werewolves.
Oh, Miss Rodanthe.
Voila. Talama. Look.
Aaron? Aaron, it's his dialect. Lookaruk. He's saying Lugaru. Werewolf. He's saying werewolf. He says that I'm its next victim.
That was Bradford Dillman's hand, I'm sure of it. And he's missing. Oh no! Woo! I want to see this werewolf makeup. Gentness. That's a really nice shot. That scene was quite well done. I like the dim lighting, so you couldn't really see the makeup.
Miss Rodanthe had fangs coming 2 inches out of his mouth.
Mary, listen to me. There are drugs.
Hey, this here's his sister. How do we know she ain't gonna turn out to be some kind of a wolf?
You shut up. There.
People do seem to be surprisingly accepting of the idea that someone in their town has turned into a wolf. Wouldn't it be more interesting if they played up the angle of like, no one believes it, that can't be true. And then people would be more vulnerable to being attacked.
Lycanthropy and lycanthrope-like diseases.
What's lycanthropy?
Werewolves.
Oh, Louise, you don't believe it.
What I believe, what I want to believe is that it's what Andrew said it was, a disease that you can take pills to control. But after what Dr. Druten said, and after what happened at the Barafu house and Granddaddy's fits, and now this book.
Let me see. Lycanthropia veritum. True lycanthropy may also respond favorably to the same drugs for a time, and then the disease develops an immunity to the drug. True lycanthropy, the victim's yearning for the taste of blood turns him into a most powerful, dangerous, and deadly killer.
I don't know what I was expecting, but he's too neat. You know, the shirt is so well pressed and clean. It does seem incongruous with the whole werewolf thing. You should at least make him a little bit ragged looking. How are they going to wrap this up? There's going to be a fire. That barn's going to burn. Oof. Ooh. Oof. That was a little bit too easy. But it still leaves the question open of whether she is one too. How is he still alive? Unless there's a second one. Makeup could be better. It's not bad. Not dead. How was he not burned before? Should check if he's really dead. You gotta have your reverse transformation. They didn't show it, that's a cop-out. I found Moon of the Wolf interesting, but ultimately kind of unsatisfying. It has all the elements in place for it to be really interesting. The cast is fantastic, the setting is kind of creepy, but the execution just kind of doesn't really go in the direction it needs to. As far as the story goes, the structure just doesn't quite work. One thing doesn't lead to another leading to another, and this is especially true in the ending sequence, which doesn't really make sense. She sets the barn on fire. We see her brother, the werewolf, lying immobile in the flames. Then he appears inside the house completely unscathed so she can shoot him to death. And it leaves so many questions unanswered, which would have added so much more interest to the film. For instance, why did he become a werewolf? Was this the illness that the great-grandfather had? I think they could have possibly made an interesting backstory concerning the family's dark history as slave owners and some kind of curse stemming from all that, but they just never really go into it. Why is the brother the werewolf and not the sister? Issue 1, they never address it. I did really like the idea they brought into it that lycanthropy is an actual disease and it can be controlled with medicine. Now, I've never heard that in another werewolf movie, and I think that's a really interesting point in this film's favour. This film is kind of similar to Vampire, the 1979 made-for-TV vampire movie that I reviewed previously, in that it is very much a police procedural and very much in that low-key, very realistic style. But I don't think this film marries the supernatural element to the police procedural style anywhere near as successfully as Vampire does. I did wonder whether perhaps that, like Vampire, this might have been a pilot for a series that never happened. And the setup for a series here is quite good because you've got David Janssen as a sort of world-weary detective, and the lady he's got the romantic interest with from the big house. Together they might have been a really interesting supernatural investigation duo. But the idea of having a supernatural investigating sheriff in a southern town, I think, is fantastic. It does make me think of a show like True Blood, a series of books like True Blood that set up this Southern Gothic thing very successfully. Would I recommend it? Well, it's enjoyable, it's interesting. Most of it is really a whodunit, and it is effective in that way because it does keep you guessing who is the werewolf, who is doing the murders in the town. But it's when they bring in the werewolf that it all kind of goes off the rails a bit. The makeup was okay for the werewolf, but as I mentioned, I thought having him in a clean and freshly pressed outfit just doesn't work. If he's in his werewolf form, he's running around attacking people, trying to kill people, he should be a little bit messed up. He should have some wrinkles in his shirt at the least. Moon of the Wolf seems like a noble effort that unfortunately didn't really succeed in the end. Despite having a good cast and some good ideas, if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you'd like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.